In December last year, Staffordshire County Council was fined £300,000 for failing to inspect an oak tree after part of it fell off and killed a man out walking his dog. The authority said it had a regular schedule for inspecting certain trees, but this one particular route was omitted and they'd failed to inspect the tree. This followed an investigation by the Health and Safety Executive following the man's death. Now, many people have asked me before whether the local authority is responsible for the maintenance of trees. And it's not always the case, but if the tree is growing out of land that is maintained and ought to be maintained by the local authority, then they do have a duty to inspect that tree on a regular basis to ensure that it doesn't pose a risk to members of the public. In this case, the tree was almost 14 metres high and almost 10 metres wide at the crown. In this case, as will often be the case, there were several defects with the tree, which meant that it was reasonably foreseeable that part of it was going to fall off and cause injuries. So the same might be true for your trees in your garden, only it will be you that's responsible for them if there are defects with the tree. For example, if you have a very tall tree that is overhanging your neighbour's garden and there are several and perhaps known defects with that tree that makes it reasonably foreseeable that part of it is going to fall off and injure somebody, then you will have a common law duty of care to ensure that that tree is safe. If the tree has a preservation order on it, however, you will need permission from the local authority even to trim and prune the tree. Although they might be quite generous with how much they allow you to prune it, you will still need to obtain that permission first. Equally, if you are concerned about a neighbour's tree overhanging your garden or your garden fence, especially with summer coming up, then you are permitted to cut those branches off so long as you don't cause significant damage to the tree that might amount to criminal damage. And again, as I said, making sure that there's no preservation order on the tree. And there seems to be a lot of confusion about the branches and what you do with them thereafter. Technically speaking, they are still the property of your neighbour, so you ought to be offering them back to your neighbour first, although they're not likely to want them back, but you should still offer. But equally, you cannot just dump them over the fence either, because that could be considered to be fly tipping, which is a criminal offence. So as with most things, it's probably better you just have a simple civil conversation first. Tell your neighbour that you're planning to do the work. Ask if they want those bits of the tree back, maybe for firewood, but perhaps they don't. But if they don't want them back, then you must dispose of them. You cannot just throw them over the fence. And with the summer coming up, there may be lots of other questions about trees, shrubs and bushes, so I've linked a playlist in the description which includes some of my very early videos on this channel which you might enjoy watching. So in the meantime, please like this video and subscribe, and make sure you hit the bell icon to receive notifications of new videos, and as always, thank you for watching.